Discipline makes the difference between someone mediocre and someone extraordinary. The ability to go beyond others is closely linked to discipline. However, cultivating it is a complex task that requires practice and the ability to trick our own brain. As human beings, we face a primitive instinct that leads us to seek dopamine, a substance generated in our brain that provides sensations of pleasure. This search for dopamine has its logic, as our brain rewards us with pleasure when we perform actions that are beneficial to us, such as eating when we feel hungry, drinking when we are thirsty, or reproducing to ensure the survival of our species. However, dopamine has a downside: its addictive nature. Although as human beings we are not perfect machines and have our imperfections, dopamine addiction represents one of our biggest challenges. A clear example of this is the contemporary dependence on various stimuli, such as social networks, video games, and drugs. In our quest for instant gratification, we discover ways to stimulate the rapid generation of dopamine in our brain, often without any effort. This paradigm of instant gratification has become omnipresent in today's world, full of stimuli that seek to awaken our immediate gratification. However, this phenomenon poses a dilemma. Most things that give us instant satisfaction have no real benefits; they are limited to providing momentary pleasure. In this context, we observe that our brain no longer generates dopamine as a reward for actions that would benefit us in the long term as individuals. Instead, you seek out dopamine for the sole purpose of immediate pleasure. This shift in reward dynamics has created a society where the need for instant pleasure has diminished our incentives to take actions that truly benefit us. We face a paradox: the more easily we achieve instant satisfaction, the less motivated we are to exert effort in actions that contribute to our lasting development and well-being. Discipline, in this context, appears as an essential tool to counter this tendency and encourage the performance of beneficial actions despite the lack of instant reward. One of the biggest challenges we face in today's society is that we have lost the feeling of satisfaction that comes from achieving something with effort. We may have experienced the frustration of wanting to do something, like exercising or starting a new project. In the beginning, when we are motivated, everything goes well. However, as soon as the motivation disappears, we have difficulty continuing. This phenomenon is due to a lack of discipline. Maybe you've already had the idea of having a beautiful, trained physique. You decide to join the gym and go every day for the first week, without missing a day, driven by initial motivation. However, during the second week, a day comes when you feel tired and think, "I'll go tomorrow, I'll rest today." The same thing happens the next day and the day after that too. How can we solve this problem in a society that rewards instant gratification? How can we cultivate discipline to achieve our goals, even on days when motivation is scarce? We have the inspiring example of Miyamoto Musashi. Although he was not a Stoic philosopher, his life and philosophy offer us valuable lessons that we can apply in our lives to cultivate discipline and achieve our goals. Before continuing, I would appreciate it if you liked the video, as it would help this philosophy reach more people. If you don't want to miss any videos, subscribe and activate the bell. Miyamoto Musashi was a samurai born in Japan in 1584. Since he was a child, he aspired to become the best swordsman in all of Japan, so he underwent rigorous training and traveled across the country facing the best duelists in the world. It is said that he participated in more than 60 duels and was never defeated. In many cases, he faced several enemies simultaneously, which led him to develop the ability to wield a sword in each hand. In addition to his combat prowess, Musashi was also a philosopher and author of several books, the Book of Five Rings being one of the most notable, where he expressed his philosophy and the path he followed to become the best warrior in the world. The world. Japan. Miyamoto Musashi's philosophy of life can be summarized in 4 main points. First, he advocated the rejection of desire. Musashi avoided performing actions simply for pleasure, as he believed it would make him weak and undisciplined. For him, the only way to feel satisfaction was through effort, such as defeating a rival in a duel or completing arduous sword training. He tricked his brain by claiming that effort was the only way to feel good, understanding that greatness had a price and he was willing to pay it, no matter how difficult it was. Second, Musashi advocated focusing on one thing at a time. He believed that focusing on and mastering a single art could open up thousands of different paths. In this sense, he recognized that time spent doing something with a worthwhile purpose was time well spent, providing incomparable satisfaction. I will continue to improve the text to ensure cohesion and fluidity in its narrative. Please let me know any specific adjustments you would like to make. He decided to master the art of the sword. He practiced tirelessly and constantly sought his limits. His skill opened many opportunities for him throughout his life. Focusing on completely mastering a skill rather than trying different things as you please is key. Oftentimes, the motivation to do too many things at once can result in failure to complete any of them. It's easier to be disciplined about a task, and when that task becomes part of our daily routine, we can move on to the next one. This way we build a habit and no longer depend on motivation to do what we should do. Step by step and one task at a time, we must never abandon our path. One of the main reasons people lack discipline is a lack of patience. When we start something new, we look for quick results, as we are used to the instant satisfaction that today's society offers us. As Musashi constantly repeated, never abandon the path. He, like any human being, in his efforts to achieve a goal, would have moments of doubt. If we have a clear objective, we must concentrate and be patient. The key is to be sure of what we are doing. Stop and think about whether you are truly committed to your goal and whether you are willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to achieve it. With this clear idea and adding patience and focus on what needs to be done, sooner or later you will achieve what you set out to do. This is the formula of discipline. Living with honor was essential for Miyamoto Musashi, who followed the rules of Bushido, or the way of the warrior. Bushido was a series of rules of conduct for samurai made up of 7 virtues: honor, respect, integrity, honesty, courage, compassion, and loyalty. Of these 7 virtues, the most important in Bushido is honor. Honor is self-respect. If you respect yourself, you behave with honesty, respect, integrity, courage, compassion, and loyalty. Acting with honor also means not cheating, not looking for shortcuts in life, or taking the easiest path. If you respect yourself, you won't behave like someone who needs instant gratification and isn't capable of making any effort. When you respect yourself, you know what you are capable of and you don't give up when it comes to working day after day towards a goal. By behaving honorably, you become disciplined. What do you think of Miyamoto Musashi's philosophy? I await your response in the comments. It is important to keep in mind that we are not perfect and will fail many times. When we want to be disciplined, we must be realistic and realize that things probably won't go our way quickly and that we will make mistakes. It's important that when we get off the path, we get back on the right path, no matter how many times we stray from the path. We quickly return to this, and over time this will happen less and less. Train your discipline just like Miyamoto trained with his swords. Be consistent and make an effort. If you live without working on your discipline, try to do. at least once a day, something that is difficult or boring for you. I hope this video helps you achieve the goals you set for yourself. Here I leave you 2 videos that you will definitely like. To the next.